I didn't see the wound, but I only see the blood.
In cross-examination, prosecuting attorney Sean Brown asking when was the last time she lived with her daughter in Guam.
2018. Then after she brought me here, she went back to Guam.
Okay, and a lot of her kids were born after 2017, right?
Yes.
So you don't have a lot of information to say about what that family life was like, do you?
Leonisa admitting she didn't know how the baby ended up beaten and malnourished.
She said the baby fall off the bed that causes the injury to the head.
Rangmomo is facing charges of murder, aggravated assault, and child abuse. No word yet if she will take the stand to tell her side. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
He allegedly stole more than $34,000 worth of items from a Delegate business and caused hundreds of dollars in damages at a local school. 19-year-old Franklin Joel Nicholas charged with 2 counts of burglary and theft of property. Court documents stating he was linked to a burglary reported at the GSI warehouse last October, where tools worth more than 30 grand were taken, along with a break-in at Benevente Middle School in March of 2023, where he broke a couple of doors and windows. Earlier this year, investigators arrested Alkinder Salas in connection to those burglaries and thefts, leading them to track down Nicholas. Parties involved in a lawsuit filed by several public school parents were back before a Superior Court judge today. As KUAM reported, those parents who have children with disabilities alleged the Guam Department of Education and Guam Education Board broke the law when they failed to provide the students with an adequate learning environment. The attorneys representing the parents contend they intended to inspect the George Washington High School campus Tuesday to ensure it meets health and safety requirements ahead of classes starting on August 8th. Instead, attorney Daniel Summerfleck telling the court they were left waiting at the front gate and never got to inspect. Meantime, parties await Judge Elisa Riarti's decision on the Education Department's request to have the lawsuit dismissed. At least half of the Guam Department of Education campuses did not meet the June 30th deadline to be inspected by Public Health. This drew supportive testimony today on a bill that would authorize those schools to operate while they wait to be inspected. Acting Guam DOE Superintendent Dr. Barbara Adamos, sharing Superintendent Kenneth Swanson's testimony with senators during a public hearing on the measure.
The consequences of closing the schools remaining to be inspected would have a crippling effect on learning overall, family disruption, and significant impact on the local economy. I am asking your support in passage of Bill number 317-37 COR to allow GDOE to continue on its successful path that we have been following, provide schools that are made safe while they await inspection, and successfully bring the entire system up to DPHSS standards by the end of school year 2004-2005.
A hearing was also held on Bill 312, which would exempt uncertified teachers who have more than 4 years of teaching experience from the general knowledge requirement examination of the Guam Educator Certification. The Missile Defense Agency is planning to deploy, test, and conduct up to 2 flight tests or tracking exercises annually over the next 10 years in Guam. The public has another week to review the 378-page document, and there's also an opportunity for you to chime in at a public meeting happening in Delegate tomorrow night. KUAM intern Katie Azon joins us with the details.
It's an opportunity for the public to let your voices take flight. The Department of Defense Missile Defense Agency is hosting an open house meeting tomorrow for the community to join in the discussion on what it is calling Guam flight tests. The talks happening at the Delegate Senior Center tomorrow from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. These tests are set to begin in 2025. Now, the public open house is expected to be an opportunity to learn about the flight tests being done to protect the people of Guam and share their thoughts on the environmental impacts of the exercise. As KUAM reported, the administration asked for a 30-day extension on the public comment period, which was then granted by the Director of Missile Defense Agency, Lieutenant General Heath Collins, extending the deadline until August 2nd. Residents, especially those living around Andersen Air Force Base, are highly encouraged to participate in these meetings as the flight tests will impact the island's future. On Tuesday, officials with the Missile Defense Agency went over the proposal with the Governor Lulian Guerrero, stating, "We were highly encouraged by the briefing and the openness of the lead and cooperating agencies in responding to all of our questions. We recognize that this same presentation and team of experts will be available for all upcoming sessions." Again, the Guam Flight Test Open House meeting will be held from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Delegate Senior Center. You can also review the military's proposal on KUAM.com. Katie Azon reporting for KUAM News.
Happening overnight, firefighters with the Guam Fire Department were called to a house covered in flames in Jigo. It happened just after 7 p.m. Tuesday off Route 1 Marine Corps Drive right before the Anderson Air Force Base front gate. It took firefighters about half an hour to put it out. The flames burned through a 2-story wooden tin home. Fortunately, no one was inside at the time. No injuries were reported, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. More from your news leader after the break. You're watching KUAM.
You know, life shouldn't be this hard for those who live here. I have a vision for lower prices on airfare, more affordable housing, better health care, and moving veteran services from Hawaii to Guam. I will get Guam a role in the economic expansion in the Asian Pacific, with more federal support for infrastructure, a 100% screen to stop illegal drugs, and new high-paying jobs. We can turn Guam's unique position into lasting prosperity. I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad, and I humbly ask for your vote.
We start with her and her local business. We start with them, celebrating 30 years. We start with big.
Welcome to Dusatani. How may I assist you today?
Keep doing your best. Congratulations.
Small and growing businesses. We start with global connections and make them local. At GTA, we start with your business.
Get ready to soak up the savings this summer at Kmart. Since 1995, Kmart has been the ultimate summer destination for everything you need. From groceries to outdoor living to everyday fashions for the family, we've been there for you 24 hours a day. Kmart is committed to saving you time and money by offering big international and American brands you know at prices incredibly low. Whether you're finding the perfect shade for that summer glow in our beauty care aisles, firing up your summer cookouts from top brands like Weber and Kenmore, or gearing up for those outdoor camping and beach adventures, Kmart's your one-stop shop for an active, fun-filled summer. So, join the fun and soak up the savings. You'll find everything you need and more, only at Kmart, the ultimate shopping destination in Guam, where savings, quality, and summer fun meet under one roof. Kmart, your 24-hour superstore.
Want a real taste of New York? The classic New York-style pizza offers a big, bold taste that's a Guam favorite. It's handmade with 16 inches of foldable crust, a sweet marinara sauce, and your favorite topping. And at 30% larger than our large, classic New York pizza is only $12.99 for carryout. Bring together your family and friends for a classic New York pizza party. Each pizza is just $12.99 for carryout. Classic New York-style pizza, so close you can taste it. Only at your island Pizza Hut.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Welcome back to Primetime. The Northern Marianas College is undergoing a major transformation. They're expecting to build 5 new buildings over the next 2 years after being severely hit by Super Typhoon U2 in 2018. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglonia gets an exclusive look at the progress.
For the next couple of years, Northern Marianas College will be probably the busiest construction site in the Northern Mariana Islands, as we will have 5 active construction sites.
The first building is set to be built by April 2025. The $31.4 million project is funded by the U.S. Department of Education, FEMA, and Office of Insular Affairs. It's good news since the NMC campus was devastated by Super Typhoon U2 in 2018. KUAM got an exclusive first look at the progress.
So what's behind me right now is the Student Center, and this is the flagship building for the Northern Marianas College. It will be the first of 5 buildings that will be constructed on our campus over the next 2 years.
It'll transform the area into a college town. The Student Center will house the Financial Aid Office, Tutoring Center, Admissions Office, and all student services. It's meant to be a gathering space for both students and the community to enjoy. Rafael Mafnas is a project inspector with GHD representing NMC. He was once a student here.
15 to 20% of the project is completed, and we have about 40-some workers working daily. I'm really happy to be part of it, and because I grew up here my whole life, and NMC's always been like a place where I would come up and spend time with my parents, because they actually both worked here for NMC for quite a while. So it's just nice to see that the campus is finally realizing its dreams come true.
NMC is exploring options for students and staff amid the transition. They're looking into renting spaces or borrowing government buildings, transitioning classes online, and have already updated their telework procedures. They haven't finalized those plans yet, but expect to implement some of them gradually in the next year.
We are trying to position ourselves to have as much flexibility with as many options so that we can do what's best for our students and for our community.
Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
Going for Gold is presented to you by Prime Hydration and C2O Coconut Water, distributed by PDC Wholesale.
The start of the Summer Olympics is 3 days away, so our continuing preview of Team Guam now shifts focus onto an important aspect for competition, our uniforms. Our friends at Hafaloa had the privilege of designing the shirts that our Olympic team will wear at the Paris opening ceremonies. So here's your Team Guam fit check.
Congratulations to you on being involved with something that I know for our culture and the athletes that are going to wear this in the opening ceremonies, they're going to treasure this for their entire life.
Oh, thank you. I hope so. Just more of a Guam theme that we were aiming for. But of course, we wanted to stick with the original Olympic colors that they wanted, which is the light blue, the dark blue that you see. Yeah, we just wanted to represent Guam because that's who we are, right? The material is our actually first time making this type of material, which is we wanted to go more of a stretchy but breathable because the women are like, they're athletes. So we wanted them to be comfortable with what they wear.
How satisfied are you with the design now that you can see it tangibly, physically in front of you?
Oh, it's definitely very satisfied. It's very different compared to digital work. So seeing it up close, seeing it in person, it's very, very satisfying. It came out beautiful, if anything, yeah.
Go Team Guam! Going for Gold is presented to you by Prime Hydration and C2O Coconut Water, distributed by PDC Wholesale.
Go Team Guam. Well, 8 years ago, the Olympics added rugby, sevens, and golf to the competition lineup. And in Tokyo, sport climbing was among the additions. Later this week, another sport will join the games lineup, and Paris will offer a few other twists. Liz McLaughlin has details.
What started in the 70s in the Bronx and flourished in the 80s is finally getting an Olympic spotlight in Paris.
Breaking is going to get exposed to this broader audience.
Breakdancing, to most of us, is simply breaking for competitors like Victor Montalvo.
I'm just so excited to bring the hip-hop culture, the breaking culture into the Olympics and just show that it's all about peace, love, unity, and having fun.
And for the first time, Olympic medals. Battling head-to-head, competitors like Sunny Choi will improvise to tunes chosen by a DJ in the moment and be judged on elements including technique and creativity.
It's an honor. I feel grateful to be able to carry this legacy forward to the Olympic stage.
The stage for track and field will make a style statement in the world's fashion capital. A first ever purple track, which could add some luster to potentially record-setting performances. It'll be a tropical setting for the surfing events. Tahiti, a French territory nearly 10,000 miles from Paris, will be host to a sport following up to its Tokyo debut. Waters on the River Seine will be considerably calmer, but even busier Friday evening for the first ever opening ceremony held outside of a stadium.
What an incredible challenge to have and what a vision to execute.
Almost 100 boats will carry more than 10,000 athletes, nearly 4 miles down the waterway, past iconic Parisian landmarks, for what promises to be a spectacular show on the Seine. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News, Paris.
The Valley of the Ladi in Talifofo will be the place to be this Saturday for the Micronesian Music Festival Rhythm by the River. KUAM intern Denise Pong has this story.
A day filled with musical performances.
We all come from families of musicians. Patrick was talking earlier about my brother Francis and my brother Norbert. They're part of the Blue Notes and the Downbeats, the Bill Munya band, her dad, and all his siblings. And it's kind of, wow, coming full circle where music is bringing our families back together. And that, for me, is the most exciting thing because our families will be down there.
A family event alongside the beauty of our island.
And people can really now see not just the Chamorro component, but all of Micronesia.
The Micronesia Music Festival, Rhythm by the River, is being held this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Valley of the Ladi in Talifofo. The sounds of Micronesia coming together.
Not just in bands and song, but also in dance and in art. Because we will have cultural performers as well as the music that will kind of celebrate our cultures down there. We will also have artists selling their wares. We will have some farmers that will be there to, again, show the community what we're all about. And we're down south, so it's nice to get down there.
Featured guests include the one and only Patrick Palomo, along with local artists Straight Up Jed, Trey Cunningham, Microchild, Jonah Hanum, K.O. Ray, and 11-year-old musician Caleb Santos.
I'm just as anxious to hear this guy play too.
The event is an opportunity for everyone to witness the beauty of our region and tour through the scenery of Valley of the Ladi on a riverboat. You can get your tickets now for the Micronesia Music Festival, Rhythm by the River, by logging on to valleyoftheLadi.com. See you there this Saturday. Denise Pong reporting for KUAM News.
Enhance your situational awareness and personal safety strategies with an upcoming workshop with the recent cases of theft and burglary. The Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce is hosting an Empower Hour featuring key speakers from Pacific Grappling Events, Laddie Stone Defense, and Protection Concepts Unlimited. The workshop will focus on practical self-defense techniques, insights into the law and your rights, confidence in your ability to defend and protect yourself in different environments. The Empower Hour workshop is Thursday, July 25th from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Women's Business Center in Hagåtña. It's free for GWCC members and $10 for future members. To sign up for this informative workshop, visit KUAM.com for the link. And don't miss the opportunity to boost your confidence and safety. Now for a look at your world at home.
Like a
Hafaday, this is Amanda Shelton. It's been my privilege to serve as your senator since 2019 to advance an agenda built on the needs and aspirations of the people of Guam by building consensus with both Democrat and Republican colleagues. Together, we've secured funding for critical programs, strengthened existing laws, and championed new legislation. We did so with recognition and respect for the many and diverse constituencies that make up our island. Today, I'm running for Congress, and it's these values, skills, experience that I'll use to advocate for Guam and Washington. Everyone has ideas. Experienced legislators are both mindful and respectful of others' ideas, but experienced lawmakers also know how to build consensus and turn ideas into action. I'm ready to do the heavy lifting for our island in Congress, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Paid for by Shelton for Congress, Johnny Cole Torres, Treasurer.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Shelley Calvo, successful entrepreneur, philanthropist, proud mother and grandmother. Shelley's broad experience spans from Silicon Valley management to chairing Guam's Homeless Coalition. As our senator, Shelley will create career opportunities for our next generation, pull people out of poverty, and will vigorously protect Guam's children from predators. Shelley is equal parts passion and compassion. If bringing values and unity to the legislature is important to you, please vote Shelley Calvo for senator.
I'm Shelley Calvo, and I approve this message.
one slice of melted cheese and said, more cheese. It looked at pickles and said, also onions. It wanted to be more than hot. It wanted to be juicy. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese. If you thought one napkin for the Quarter Pounder with cheese was enough, it's not enough.
Find a plan that goes with your flow. Get unlimited local talk, text, and data at the most affordable rate with Unlimited Flow Postpaid.
Okay, my friends, personal safety, personal security, personal peace of mind, that is going to be one of the core themes at the Women's Chamber of Commerce. A workshop is going to be held on self-defense for women. So make sure to check out Empower Hour. It's on Thursday the 25th, starting at 4:30 in the afternoon. It's only an hour, but the lessons you're going to learn here last a lifetime. And like I said, you are going to be safe. Look at this lineup. These are people that really, really know their stuff. They care, and they want to make sure that you are safe. But make sure to register, because you have to, and make sure to get in early. All right, the Saturday Swap Meet and Marketplace is back. That happens this Saturday. Man, there's so many things happening this Saturday. There's a ton of stuff going on, and it starts at 9 in the morning, goes until about 3 in the afternoon. Check out Freedom Park in Tamuning for food vendors, food trucks. Just a $2 donation gets you in. There's over 100 indoor tables. You are going to find really, really cool stuff. You're going to have a great time, and you are going to save some money. And also, I told you there's a lot of stuff happening on Saturday. Also happening on July 27th up in Rhoda. On a clear day, you can see all the way to Rhoda. And there is good stuff happening at Sinapalo Elementary School. You can get your vaccines and school health certificates. Take care of yourself and your family. Make sure everybody is okay. And that is what it's all about on News Bites, because there are amazing things happening, and we let you know about it.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday to Kaylee Aloka Akfazi, birthday number 17. Kay, and you have always been up to try new things, not afraid to be you, shining your personality around others by adding spunk and glitter to any room. Continue, your beloved family says, to always be as humble as you grow. Love you today, tomorrow, and every day from your familia. Happiest of birthdays to one of our KUM kids, Brandon Gabriel. Happy birthday, Brandon. Hope you have an awesome birthday and many more to come from Mommy, Elora, Manny, Papu, Kuku, and the rest of the family. And they say, we love you so much. Happy birthday to Brandon. KUM kids are awesome. And happy birthday number 11 to Liam Ryan Sablon. To our handsome Liam, what an epic day it's going to be. Absolutely. Keep being your amazing self, and remember, the sky is the limit. We love you, say Grandma and Papa Sablon and the rest of the family.
Happy birthday, Brandon, and all of you celebrating out there today. That's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Delgado. Good night. It's the final lap for the primary race. 3 Democratic candidates on the ballot for Guam Delegate: Amanda Shelton, Michael St. and Ginger Cruz, and the lone Republican incumbent James Moylan. In this episode of The Hub, we revisit our discussion with each candidate.
We are at a critical moment in Guam's history, and I think that Guam needs respectful, effective, collaborative leadership to move our agenda forward in Washington. And Guam has been my lifelong home. It's really the heartbeat of my identity, and it's my shared experience with you, with all of the people of Guam, the listeners tonight, that have shaped my values, that have fueled my commitment to public service. And so that has been my background, serving now in the legislature for the last 3 terms. And it's really been such an honor and such a privilege to give myself this way to the people of Guam. And of course, it gives me so much fulfillment as well to know that this is my home. This is the place that I want to build up for future generations, for my hopefully future family and all my godchildren that are going to live here and stay rooted here.
So you know how you have these native contractors here for the Hawaiian companies, the Alaskan companies, they get priority on these federal contracts while our own native contractors don't get that. So we wanted to bring that conversation back onto the table. It hasn't gone anywhere since we've moved it while we were in office. We want to get it going again. But by opening that native window and getting the native contracting recognition, that will then open the door for us to also be able to start pursuing native recognition for housing programs. And there's millions and millions of dollars for native housing. That'll help us open the door to get native recognition for education programs, millions for education. Open the door for health care, millions for native health care. And that'll provide a different resource for us to be able to tap into federally that can help to relieve pressure on the general system by having more native resources being put into the community here on Guam to address that on a native basis, helping the greater system have less pressure from that particular segment of the community, and then bringing down housing prices, putting more money into education, putting more money into healthcare. Those are things we can do.
Every single war game that talks about any sort of conflict with China over Taiwan, one of the first things that's going to happen is Guam will be attacked. Same token with North Korea. I think there need to be a lot more serious discussions about the type of support, the type of planning, the type of understanding that we have on Guam about the threat that we face. Because this island is it's irreplaceable. It has a people, it has a culture. Every single life is precious. And the new general taking over for the Indo-Pacific, it was very interesting. He just testified before Congress. And he said the most important priority for him is the 170,000 Americans that are living on Guam, which is absolutely true. But we need to have a serious discussion on Guam about preparedness, about understanding the threats, about actively understanding that deterrence, because this isn't just about protecting the bases. This is our lives. This is everything. It's our existence.
For Guam, if you want businesses to grow, you have to have resilience in your infrastructure, and that's very important. And we've been taking that further, working with the administration, working with the governor's office, we just had meetings with JB and other utilities and other agencies on the island. How can the federal government help support our local government and these agencies? And we're doing that right now through the relationships we build with my colleagues in Congress. That resiliency is important. We're going to get hit by another typhoon. Hopefully it's another 30 years. We're going to be hit by another disaster, but the strength of our people and the strength of our infrastructure is important. We're working with Department of Defense, we're working with FEMA, we're working with other agencies, and they know what we need. And Indo-PACOM area situation, which I'm a part of, by working with the House Armed Services Committee, an important committee for a member to be on, especially in Guam.
Guam is truly a majestic place with its sheer natural beauty, wealth of beaches, and culturally rich landscape. Unfortunately, Guam has a real problem with unwanted invasive species. Help us in preventing their introduction and spread. The coconut rhinoceros beetle, the little fire ant, the African snail, Siam weed. These are just a few of the numerous invasives on Guam. Follow proper custom procedures when bringing plants and animals into Guam.
Help protect Guam. Tell your family and friends about invasive species.
To report invasive species, call 475-PEST.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Welcome back to The Hub. Here's more from your candidates for Guam Delegate.
But what's not happening, and this is not just a problem on that issue, but it's a problem on many other local issues, is, the office today has become mute. We were very vocal. We were very much out there advocating for the use of resources. Where are these monies? How are they being deployed? What's the timelines? Helping to kind of keep the spotlight locally so that it's not just a matter of doing things federally and, whatever happens, happens, but actually coming back home and saying, hey, what's going on? Yeah. Because, if you're really going to follow through on the public service, side of the equation, you're gonna make sure that it's happening. And so there's been no follow through. We have all these federal resources, whether it's ARP, whether it's money going into education. There's no follow through anymore today saying, hey, where are these resources? Are they being deployed? Is the money going to expire? Do we lose it or when? None of that's happening. And so we've brought that money in for the livestock co-op. We've brought that money in for the fishermen's co-op. Nothing's happening, and no one's speaking up about it federally. Again, the office has gone mute.
I'm a product of Guam. And the one thing that I am eternally grateful for is when I went to Washington, D.C., and I served as a Deputy Assistant Secretary at the U.S. Department for Housing and Urban Development, really getting into domestic issues. I worked directly for Andrew Cuomo, who was the Secretary at the time. And then, in my career, I was lucky enough to be the Deputy Inspector General for Iraq Reconstruction, where I got to report to the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of State, and report to 8 committees in Congress.
Proud moment for a local girl there.
That was a lot. And it was a moment where you really felt like you were contributing to the nation's security. I served for 8 years in that position, and I served in Iraq under fire. I was a 2-star general equivalent on the civilian service side. And so as a civilian part of the Department of Defense, still had to wear the body armor.
I'm a vet. I mentioned that. We had several meetings with veterans organizations. Just the other day also, we had a big presentation. This is the year of the veterans as well. I was there with the administration, the governor, lieutenant governor, and myself presenting. But for Congress, on our side, we had to push for measures where our vets are struggling with, where the people of Guam are struggling with as well. Agent Orange. Right. We were able to expand the time frame on who's the eligibility for this, and that's very important. There's also the measure about RECA. That we pushed for that. We pushed for that in Congress. It got higher than it ever did before. It didn't make it all the way, but the fight is still continuing on. With the House and with Senate side too. We have that relationship. We need to provide for the funding, and that's where we're working to get as well. So let's take care of our vets, let's take care of the people of Guam, and let's move these things further.
I think what is front and center in everyone's mind is our relationship, our role as our island zone defense and national defense strategic place in the world, and the imbalance of power in our relationship between the United States and the island of Guam. And also being a target for these other nations who look to project power in the Pacific region, or who simply want to do harm to the nation. That's very clear to all of us right now. Every time we hear a threat, every time we read something in the news, and these are things that are really front and center in all of our minds. And so, of course, my platform is centered on the military buildup and things surrounding that, as well as infrastructure of our island, transportation, sustainability, education, healthcare for the people of Guam.
Docomo Pacific is on a mission. Whether you're a small business or a large enterprise, we believe fast internet's no longer just an option, it's a necessity. That's why we're committed to bringing fiber to everyone. As your business needs expand, we're working to bridge the digital divide by making strong, swift connections scalable to any business, ensuring you have the connectivity required and then some. Building for tomorrow's needs today. Fiber for everyone. Docomo Pacific Business.
You going viral. Cause I don't really try, I'm just athletic. I ain't really high, I'm just level-headed. Tell me why the click looking magnetic. Tell me in the city when I'm back in it.
Welcome back to The Hub. Here's more from your candidates for Guam Delegate.
You've got to hire staff that are incredibly experienced. So I've already reached out to folks that I know on the Hill, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. We used to work together when I was working for Andrew Cuomo. She's now the senior senator, or the junior senator under Chuck Schumer for New York, but she's been there a long time and she's got a lot of experience. People like that, talking to them and finding some key professional staff with 20, 30 years experience who absolutely know how to navigate the Hill, recruit them to come and work on the Guam team. And to be our weapons, to be the people that help us to all of a sudden, I mean, we don't have the experience ourselves. We don't have time to, spend 10 years learning it. So we need to have a congressional office that recruits key pieces of expertise to supplement the local expertise and have advisors here in Guam who know those Guam issues, put it together and have an office that punches above its weight.
Or not too long ago, the governor came on out with Jesse Alec, representing the mayors, to talk about the importance of Guam's needs for COFA funding to continue. We had to fight for that really hard because it wasn't done previously. And here we are, and now we're fighting for that. That's a challenge I have as well, and that's why I want to continue on as a representative to see this through. And I got to continue to make that happen. There's other things, medical portability, that's there. SSI, that's there. A lot more things. Our borders. Guam Customs is in charge of our borders, but they don't have the resources to do that. The federal government is placing demands, unfunded mandates upon the Guam Customs Authority. If you're going to do that, the federal government, you better assist. You better provide training. You better provide services. You better provide bullets even, right? Let's do this right. And if we had to federalize it, then we federalize it. If we're going to give more funding, then we give more funding. But that discussion has begun.
The thing I would do absolutely is to thank God and to thank the people of Guam for putting their trust and their confidence in me, the platform that I'm presenting, the agenda that I want to carry out as their delegate to Congress. I think that's most important, to show my gratitude. And of course, I would contact our delegate, Jim Moylan, because we are friends. We served in the 35th and 36th Guam legislatures. We've worked very well together.
Keeping those connections.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would talk to him so that we can ensure a smooth transition between our offices to make sure that there's no interruption in service to the people of Guam. I think that's super important. And then I will, really compile all of the information, all of the concerns and the suggestions that I heard along the way on the campaign trail, because there have been so many people that I've met, from our island leaders, military leaders, business people, Manumku, our Manhoban, everyone who has something to share, and their voices are so important.
And one of the things that you come away with being in public office for a while is, Steny Hoyer, the majority leader back in the Congress, put it best when I had a conversation with him. He said, there's two kinds of horses. There's show horses and there's work horses, and you always need to ask yourself and constantly gut check yourself, which one are you? And so, in our public service arena, we have the same choices, and I really would just like to implore our people: we need to pick more workhorses. We need to drive things. We need to drive things into the outcome phase and beyond just the discussion phase, or even the headline phase and the political phase. So I mean, that's the first thing that I think in this election I would like to just kind of bring up and put into the hearts and minds of our people is let's go and let's vote for that kind of public service.
Something is calling, and I can't help it. Let's don't belong when there ain't no song. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when I make a move. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when let's take a break. There's no use. This is my mood when I make a move. This is my mood when
Get ready to soak up the savings this summer at Kmart. Since 1995, Kmart has been the ultimate summer destination for everything you need. From groceries to outdoor living to everyday fashions for the family, we've been there for you. 24 hours a day. Kmart is committed to saving you time and money by offering big international and American brands you know at prices incredibly low. Whether you're finding the perfect shade for that summer glow in our beauty care aisles, firing up your summer cookouts from top brands like Weber and Kenmore, or gearing up for those outdoor camping and beach adventures, Kmart's your one-stop shop for an active, fun-filled summer. So, join the fun and soak up the savings. You'll find everything you need and more, only at Kmart, the ultimate shopping destination in Guam, where savings, quality, and summer fun meet under one roof. Kmart, your 24-hour superstore. School is just around the corner, and there are over 600 foster children in need of school supplies. KUAM Care Force is partnering with Harvest House to host their annual back-to-school donation drive. You can participate by visiting the designated donation boxes at Kmart. Just purchase a backpack and fill it up with school supplies to place in the designated boxes. Last day to donate is Thursday, July 25th. A special thanks to our community partners, Kmart, your 24-hour superstore, and Ohima Medical Guam. Call them at 671-646-1440 to schedule your students' back-to-school physicals.
Welcome back to The Hub. Here's more from your candidates for Guam Delegate.
You know, there's a lot more that needs to get done. My goals with COFA, the fight, working closely with this administration, we're united to get things done. If you can't work closely with the administration, there's only one voice in Congress. And we had to trust each other that we're doing the right thing for the people of Guam. And that's being set and moved forward. If you have two different opinions between federal side and administrative side, the United States Congress has a lot of the other things to worry about if we're not united. I can tell you, I may agree with not everything, but I'm sure the right things that we got going is moving us forward. Working closely with the administration, working tightly with the agencies here on Guam, and being out there, being transparent for the people of Guam. Having a great interview with you, Nick, you know, that's important, so that people know. And I come back as much as possible, because that presence in D.C., I'm going to tell you something funny. Okay. You know, I get my doctor's checkups all the time. I do my exercises. I'm in good shape. But he says, you're lacking one thing. I go, what is that? He said, vitamin D. He said, oh my gosh. You know, well, being in Washington, D.C., and it's taken away my vitamin D, I want to be home more often. So I'm making it a point. I come home as much as possible. So, and that's important, and so I can talk with the people of Guam. When I get back home, I have coffee with your congressman. We go to the different coffee shops, and you know, let's just sit on down and join me one day, enjoy some coffee. You're my constituent, right? I work for you. I need to hear what's important to you. So let's have coffee, and I invite our constituents out there too. Let's have coffee together. We make that announcement. We put that flyer on out there, and I need to hear more people of Guam, because that warmth from the people, the warmth of the island, really helps me when I go back there. So at least I can get some vitamin D. Take that with me.
I give career day presentations for students. I always talk about how being an elected official means that you need to be a communicator to your constituency. You need to let them know what's happening, what's the work that you're doing, and how you're accomplishing what you're doing and what they elected you to do. So, you know, not to liken myself to you as a news reporter, but I do feel that I have a responsibility to report back to the people of Guam every step of the way. Whatever meeting that is to bring Guam to the table, whatever that is, every ask that I'm going after to ensure that Guam has the hardened infrastructure, not just inside the base, to ensure that we have, you know, a forward presence to secure the island and the nation, but also thinking about our people who are living the same lives as the people inside the base. So making sure that infrastructure is equal equal and bringing parity to the people of Guam. I think that's one of the most important things that we can do. I think we can also really focus on that workforce development aspect, because as the growth is going on outside, the population is not only going to increase inside the base, right? It's going to be outside the base, and we need to continue that workforce development. So I've done that over the past several terms in the legislature, increasing the Manpower Development Fund to the Guam Community College for training and for boot camps, all of these different things for apprenticeships. And we've done it to support different industries around the island through the apprenticeship program. We just passed a bill a couple of months ago to secure that funding and to secure that credit for all of these businesses who are building up the workforce by providing on-the-job training. So I think that is another focus, that if we can get our local workforce trained up, skilled up to be able to provide this service, and if that's not meeting the needs, to bring in more workforce here to help not just inside the base but outside the base, something absolutely vital to the growth of our entire island.
There's always going to be political interests out there trying to keep you from being effective, and that's, I mean, it's self-evident in the fact that we had all of that to go through, nothing materialized from it, and then here we are today, and there's none of that. There's none of that distraction nonsense originating from political detractors trying to derail the current guy sitting in there, you know. And really, if you're really going to evaluate what's been going on with the current office, there are some very, very specific things that have occurred that if you really wanted to go out there and file complaints against him, you could. You know, we don't do that because that's just not how we operate. But there's an absence of that today, you know, because again, we've returned back to this almost hush-hush political environment where advocacy for the people is taking a back seat in order for there to be a political playing field that puts things, you know, that hides things rather than tries to bring things to light. But on our end, you know, we've been vetted. You know, we've gone through so many investigations, and there's been absolutely no charges filed. Nothing's materialized on that end, and it's not because there's a lack of any willingness for something like that to take place. You know, you take a look at the Congress today, and you have a certain member, George Santos, who he was charged. Within 9 months he was removed from office. And when there's something there, they absolutely take the necessary steps to be able to have the due process run its full course. We've just gone through a lot of political dirt that, if it comes up again in this election, you know, I told my family, I said, it's just obviously, if that happens, it's more of the same. But it's also more of the same for the same reasons. And it's trying to distract, it's trying to derail. And if we're really in this for the people of Guam, and if public service is truly the purpose for why we're doing this, then we will take whatever comes and we will stay as focused and make good things happen.
Because I really think, you know, I had this metaphor that I was thinking of this morning. When you get on an airplane, it would be lovely if the pilot was somebody that you knew, that was part of your family, that you were friends with. But the most important thing is that person has to have the experience to fly that plane and keep you safe, right?
Yep.
The Office of Congress, to me, is the same. The Office of Congress needs somebody who has the experience to be able to have a vision and fly the people of Guam through some really choppy, dangerous waters and get us to a destination, right? And it's wonderful if the person who's in the cockpit is somebody that you like, or somebody that you know, or somebody that you're related to. That's great. But it also needs to be somebody who understands the professional requirements of that office, because there's so much that can be done. And if we approach it that way, and we approach it as a place where in those 2 years you can actually accomplish something, you know, it's less about, I mean, it's wonderful to give kudos to folks or to say, you know, we need a statue for the people of Guam. That's lovely, right? But the people of Guam are suffering from a high cost of living. They're not being given Social Security. We've lost compact impact funding, and we shouldn't be bashing our head against the wall saying, oh, we lost it, you have to give it back to us. We're not going to get it back. We have to think of creative new ways to make up that shortfall and to get that support, because I'll tell you what, the kids that aren't going to school at Simon Sanchez, they don't have time for politics or for, you know, nice words or, oh, I wrote a letter to ask someone to help out. That's not going to actually, we all know it, it's not going to turn into a school. And those kids don't have time. They've lost years to COVID, and now they're losing years to a school that was damaged by Mawar.
For the full interviews from these candidates and more election coverage, visit KUAM News YouTube channel. See you on primary day this August 3rd.